Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone, and we are now in the week 5 or module 2 actually. And in the last module we have talked about the personality, and in this module we are going to talk about the emotions and moods. These emotions and moods are also important, and what is the learning outcome. Let's read this: understanding the emotions and moods and identifying the sources of emotions and mood, describing affective event theory. We will try to understand this theory as well, and application of emotion and mood in the OB. This is the all about this week 5. So let's talk about what is emotion. Sometimes you feel emotional and you have some responses, not only psychologically but with your body behavior as well. For example, if your boss is shouting at you, that your palm may be sweating and you may have some stress, and at the same time your biological you feel anger like this. So you are actually reflecting the emotion at the cost of some event. Which event actually happened? Your boss has punished you, or he was shouted at you, or he was not approving your leave or anything like that. So this is the situation, and these emotions are really important to be studied at the workplace as well. So let's take a little technical definition based on this. An emotion is the complex psychological state that involves three distinct components. For example, the subjective component, the psychological component, and the behavioral component. So the subjective component, for example, it could be your anger. You feel angry, but then after feeling you're angry, the psychological component may component may come. For example, your heartbeat may go up and your palm may start sweating at the same time. The third thing is about this behavioral or expression, and sometimes you will react and you may disrespect your colleague or in this regard, or you may simply smile. Okay, no problem. Even you give him a smile. Okay, I will leave everything on, let's say, Allah or God for this. So this is the actually the combination and definition of this emotion. And there are common type of emotions. For example, anger, fear, sadness, happiness, and surprise. And we will talk more in the live session about this. So let's continue further for this mood. You sometimes feel moody. For example, you are in a good mood, you are in a bad mood. Same thing will happen with you at the workplace. So if your boss is in a good mood, sometimes you go, if you want to get approval for the, let's say, 2-week leave for the summer, you will check whether he is in a good mood or in a bad mood. So if you will check proper his mood, then you will actually get the leave. But if he has some problem with at family or home, work life balance is not good for your side or your boss side, then this negotiation may not happen in this regard. So in this, the mood, we will try to define now the mood in little technical term. For example, the mood is the effect of the state. For example, good versus bad moods are less specific, less intensive, less likely to be provoked and moods are typically described as having either a positive or negative effect. If you see this graph, there is a low negative effect and there is a high negative effect. Similarly, you have a low positive effect and low high positive effect. And if you try to compare the people, some people are really moody and they are very aggressive and they will demonstrate you with the anger. But at the same time, some people think that reflecting the anger is not a good idea for the job, at least. Okay, not for at least a parents at least. So then this scale at this scale it becomes very subjective at the same time. So if you see, for example, if you're feeling sad, the opposite side of the mood is your happiness. If you see it is a stress, then the other side of the mood is your sometimes very relaxed at the workplace. If you see it's the other side, that is a bored, but sometimes you feel really excited at the same time. So these things we can see on this graph, and we will study this which side. If you see these, we have divided them into positive and negative side as well. Positive side is, for example, you can see calm and at the same time and tense on the other side. So we will discuss more details in the live session for this. So what are the sources of moods? Let's discuss for this. For example, your age. With the age, you see your grandfather might be losing temper at you, but you see in the Quran it is there for you to be patient with those old people. So same you can see with the young people, they are less tolerant at the same time if in their young age. But as you become a parent and you try to touch the 30s and 40s, you are more patient not only for your kids but also for your parents. But if you are not doing this, this means you have some psychological issue with you. You have to take control of your mind and take some exercises and do some sort of trainings in this regard to improve your patience at workplace. And with the age, you should reflect your maturity in order to achieve your top positions like CEO or bank managers. And these positions are for really people who mature with the age, and they have very good control on the negative side of the moods at the same time. So this age has very important impact. Same you can see the gender feeling, like women, you can see that for women they are sometimes short temper, but at the same time they take a strategic decision making at the same time, and their mood really reflects. If they are taking time, then they may end up in a very good decision. But for a male, they take a quick decision, they are more energetic, and so this is the way the gender is actually a good source of your personality or mood reflection. So while you're talking at workplace with a male or female, you should take into account that you are talking to a female. Then be patient in this regard and wait for her. That's what is actual issue, why she is feeling like this. Then you may end up in a negotiation and positive result at the end. So this is the importance of the gender. So time of the day is very important. In the morning you feel more energetic. If you go at the end of the day at 4 p.m. you go for the application leave for your boss, it is a really it can be a problem for you. So you check with your colleagues as well. If you want to assign them the task, give them in the morning. They are more energetic, so their mood may be in some problem with their mood, but normally with the research it is evident that in the morning the moods are very positive. So weekday, don't give more of a job in the weekend to your subordinates. You should give them in the early week. So this is the way their mood could be more positive in this regard. So similarly, weather is there, but there is no proper statistical evidence. But sometimes you feel if the weather is rainy or really good, then you feel okay, we should go for a party or outside, or even at an organization place you can enjoy some party with your colleagues. So but the statistically no evidence has been identified so far. Stress, even low level of constant stress can worsen your mood. If it is, for example, coming every day, you are talking to your life partner about this, every day you are not taking care of the kids, and this is the thing, you are reflecting on your workplace. So this stress was actually gradually accumulating in a way that it actually end up in an accident, in an incident, or in a quarrel with your colleague. So try to avoid that, and this is the one of the source for your bad mood or a good mood, this stress. And sleep properly, take a sleep. If you are not taking a proper sleep, then your day mood could be you may reflect a bad mood. So try to avoid that at the workplace. Similarly, exercise, you have to do daily exercise. If you cannot do it at workplace, you can do little exercise, for example handshaking or just revolving your things like, and you can train your as an HR manager to your colleagues as well. Okay, why not just 5 minutes, let's do a refresh exercise, so that it will change you it will change your mood from negative to the positive. So let's go further. Emotions and mood, there is a little comparison between what is the difference between emotions and mood. So if you try to see, the emotions are caused by the specific event, which is caused by general and unclear. Moods are not clear, but emotions, we will also study this theory of affective event. This particular event or source of person, how it is affecting and how it is going to end up the problem, but negative or positive emotions. So but for mood, there is no particular source has been identified. Very brief in duration, for it could be in milliseconds, but the mood may last for a longer time, your positive and negative mood. So similarly, specific if you go, usually accomplish these emotions by distinguish facial expression, and similarly generally not indicated by distinguished expressions. So emotion, it is the action oriented in nature, while the mood is cognitive in nature. So these are different technical terms. We will talk more in our live sessions. So let's talk about this affective event theory. It is very important theory for longitudinal type of research, and now the OB scholars are doing research based on this time event, and this is a very good model to understand how the emotions at workplace and how these variables may vary across, which we have also studied different models, small models in our week 3 for the module 1. So it is some sort of reflection in this regard. So if you see there is a work environment in the top of the cell, then you have the work events over there, then you see there is an emotional reaction, and finally you have some job satisfaction and job performance. So if you see the environment, if it is very positive, for example, characteristics of the job demand, emotional labor requirements, these things are very important, and the work event, daily hassles is going, hassle and daily uplift, what is actually happening, negative or positive, it is related. So ultimately now you are moderating effect of the personality is going, the personality and mood will positively. For example, if someone is already by default is a negative person, whether you are going to give him a positive environment or a negative environment, he might be always complaining in this regard. But if this person is really positive and open, and he is really extrovert at the same time and working for the organization, for the organizational objectives, then his positive personality will have a positive effect in this relationship between affective event and your emotional reaction, that normally ends up in a good relationship. So we will talk more detail about this theory in the live session. So affective event theory, let's take more assumption. For example, emotions provide valuable insight into how workplace event influence employee performance and satisfaction. This is the what we have, the direct relationship, and then we have some mediating relationships at the same time. So let's go further for some of the applications for the emotions and mood. We have some applications. For example, motivation, the positive mood effect, expectations of success, feedback amplifies this effect. If a leader is providing, your boss is providing you properly feedback, and he is motivating you, and he is trying to encourage you to try to avoid the negative moods or the negative thing out of the life and keep calm over here at the workplace, so it will basically motivate you. Same is the leadership. This is the what I was talking about. The leader can actually motivate you in this regard. Similarly, negotiations, the emotions can affect the negotiation. If someone is always with the negative emotions, and negative emotions are built in with the employee union or anything like that, and if your CEO is going to negotiate with them, then this negotiation may not end up in a positive way. If they were demanding the increase of, let's say, this salary, or they were demanding, let's say, the relaxation in the working hours or the break time or working from home, then this negotiation is only positive, only possible in a positive environment. So similarly, customer service, always it is very challenging because the customers are paying for you. So try to stay calm, and these emotions and mood swings should be controlled, and your training manager should guide them, your especially the front end staff, like registration department, like marketing department, like customer department, why these moods and emotions are really important. Work-life satisfaction, once again, your family and work should have a balance, clear line of balance. You should conclude your work positively on a time, and go and join your family at the same time, enjoy your weekends at the same time. But if you are going with the stress, then these emotions will continually develop in a negative way, and it may harm not only your marital life or the family life, but also at your workplace. It could be a problem for you. So deviant workplace behaviors are equally possible. If you try to see how the bully boss or how the good boss can reduce, good boss can reduce the workplace deviant behavior. For example, if someone is taking more leaves, and but after a positive training and the counseling of the boss, he is coming regularly on the job. So this sort of we are trying to create the positive emotions in this regard. So this is the one of the application. So safety and injury at workplace. So do not do dangerous work when you are in a bad mood. For example, if you are a labor, or you are a hardware engineer, or you are a civil engineer, and you are you should try to avoid this in the bad mood. And similar training should be conducted by HR department in this regard. So let's continue further for this session, and we see some implications and benefits of the positive moods at the workplace. We have 3-4 positive benefits. For example, negative emotions such as anxiety, fear and sadness have no have on mind and bodies. This is the negativity, but the positive emotions are really important. For example, company wellness program can actually help, and these wellness program, for example, you're trying to create some awareness. For example, web-based platform are available to read for example some jokes or anything like related to this, or some parties are going on, like annual dinners are going on, anything like that. These are the welfare programs, and it can increase the positive synergy of your actually workplace. So positive emotions lead to greater job satisfaction, enhanced creativity, and correlated with the health and stress management. Less stress will come over here. So let's take some more implications for the manager. For example, understanding the role of emotions and moods can significantly improve your ability to explain and predict your co-workers and behavior. Means if you are talking to your colleague. Similarly, recognizing the emotions as a natural part of the workplace and good mood, this is another implication. Similarly, in the service sector, encouraging positive display of emotions can enhance your customer service, and if customer service is going on, definitely your business will improve. That's all for the week 5. See you in week 6 inshallah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.